Good evening, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, thank you for being here tonight. It's not often we get to look out into a sea of blue, or a full crowd for that matter, so you're in for a good time. Al, let's start with roll call.
Benson.
Here.
Sarda. Here. Gross.
Here.
Hoffman.
Here.
Ibon.
Present.
Minor.
Here.
Moser.
Here.
Mayor Johnson.
Here.
City Manager Leon.
Here.
Attorney Denver.
Here. All right, you have before you the minutes of the regular meeting of April 22nd, 2019, and the work session meeting of April 22nd. What is your pleasure?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Thank you very much. Next, you have the schedule of bills. What is your pleasure?
I'll move we pay the bills. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion? Roll call.
Charlie, for your last time being first. Gross. Aye. Hoffman.
Aye.
Ibon.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Ferdig. Bills. Aye. Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes. And now we have some proclamations. I should actually. All right. So the first is for National Safe Boating Week in Yankton. Whereas recreational boating is fun and enjoyable, we in Yankton are fortunate to have Lewis and Clark Lake and the Missouri River. Recent year figures indicated that approximately 76% of boating fatalities died of drowning, and 85% of them were not wearing life jackets. And whereas South Dakota boating laws require that wearable life jackets be carried on board the boat for each person, personal watercraft riders and children under the age of 7 must be wearing a life jacket when on board any boat. Now, therefore, I, Nathan Johnson, Mayor of the City of Yankton, do hereby support the goals of the National Safe Boating Campaign, the Yankton Coast Guard Auxiliary, South Dakota Department of Game, Fish, and Parks, National Park Service, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to promote safe boating in our area waters, and hereby proclaim May 18th through 24th, 2019 as National Safe Boating Week in Yankton. And we have Larry here to accept the proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. Oh. The only one comment I'll make is we launched a couple boats Saturday, and with that water moving through the lake so fast, I'll tell you, 45, 50 degree water, it doesn't take long for hypothermia. So appreciate nod to Safe Boating Week, and have a good summer. Thank you, Mayor.
We're used to seeing Larry in his life jacket, so.
One of these years.
Yep. Thanks again. Next, it's Motorcycle Awareness Month. So whereas the arrival of May and the onset of warmer weather signals the unofficial start of motorcycle season, and whereas motorists are encouraged to be aware of motorcycles, especially at intersections, when performing lane changes or passing other vehicles, and whereas motorcycle organizations from across the nation joined together to promote Motorcycle Awareness Month. Now, therefore, I, Nathan Johnson, Mayor of the City of Yankton, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2019 as Motorcycle Awareness Month. You want to say a few words?
No,
Okay. All right, well, you're welcome to. Let's get a photo before you go. We'll turn this around. There you go. Thank you.
thank you, appreciate you guys.
Yep. Be safe out there. All right. Next, it is so it's Peace Officers Memorial Day, and it is National Police Week as well. So whereas the Congress and the President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week, and whereas the men and women of the law enforcement agency of the City of Yankton provide a vital public service by safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the City of Yankton, and whereas the law enforcement officers serve the public every hour, every day of the year, having been selected, trained, and entrusted to be peacekeepers for our communities. Whereas law enforcement duties require great sacrifice on the part of the officers and their families. Now, therefore, I, Nathan Johnson, Mayor of the City of Yankton, call upon the citizens of the City of Yankton and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 12th through 18th, 2019, as Police Week, with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which all our people may join in commemorating law enforcement officers, past and present, who, by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities, have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in doing so, have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and securities of all citizens. I further call upon all citizens of the City of Yankton to observe Wednesday, May 15th, as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty. And let us recognize and pay respect to the survivors of our fallen heroes.
One real quick comment. One of the things that happened last year in 2018, there were 163 officers that'll have their names added to the memorial in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. One of the things that is really bad is that we're off to a really terrible start again this year. But I can say one thing about our officers in Yankton is we train specifically for safety and to make sure that we do the very best job. So hopefully we'll never see that happen to us in this environment. So again, thank you for the award, Mayor and Commission. We really appreciate you recognizing us.
All right. Now we get to the Sea of Blue. So this is a proclamation for Kurt Flannery. Whereas Kurt Flannery began his firefighting career on January 16th, 1989, and whereas Kurt retired on February 8th, 2019, after having served the City of Yankton for 30 years, and whereas Kurt has contributed valuable time and attention to all affairs and interests of the fire department by serving in both firefighter and officer roles, now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Nathan Johnson, Mayor of the City of Yankton, and my fellow members of the Yankton City Commission and the City Manager, Amy Leone, do hereby express their gratitude to Kurt Flannery for the loyal and faithful service he gave the City of Yankton.
Thank you, sir.
You want to say a few words?
Yeah, I can talk, and you're not going to stop me either. Along this 30-year course, there's been a lot of changes in firefighting as far as how you deal with fires. The main thing I guess I want to put across is I think safety is our biggest concern that we try to uphold at all times. We always watch our backs. A lot of the people, as I look across here, don't have blonde or brown hair anymore. It's getting pretty gray, Chubb? Keep that Grecian formula going. But anyway, the only thing I want to say is it's been a very good group of guys to work with, even the new ones coming in. Met a lot of good people along the line, not only in Yankton, but other fire service entities that I guess at the younger start of it, you were kind of determined to go learn as much as you could. So you went to district, regional, state fire schools and got as much knowledge that you possibly could obtain. So all I know is it's been a good ride, and yeah, when the siren goes off, I still don't know where you guys are going, and I kind of miss it yet, but it'll get over. Boone, your hair's getting gray too. Thank you very much for acknowledging.
All right. Thank you again, Kurt, for your service. We got one more. This is for Troy Kalman. Whereas Troy Kalman began his firefighting career on December 5th, 1996, and whereas Troy retired on January 21st, 2019, after having served the city of Yankton for 22 years. Whereas Troy has contributed valuable time and attention to all affairs and interests of the fire department in his role as a firefighter. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Nathan Johnson, Mayor of the City of Yankton, and my fellow Yankton City Commissioners and City Manager Amy Leone do hereby express their gratitude to Troy Kalman.
Thanks, Kurt, for taking up all my time. Actually, on the way in here, I was told by Chabadoni that I was limited to 4 words for my speech. So, and they are thank you and be safe. But to add to what Kurt said, this has been a fantastic experience. We have a wonderful fire department here in Yankton, great leadership, and 45 of the best volunteers that you'll ever find, I think, anywhere in any kind of a city in the state of South Dakota. So I'm very proud to have been a part of that, and I want to say thanks to all of you for the last 22 years. Thank you very much.
All right, well, a lot of service and safety to recognize there in the next week and throughout this month. So please observe. Next, we'll move on to the city manager's report.
Now everyone has to listen to me. Honorable Mayor, members of the Commission, and members of the public, our mission at the City of Yankton is to provide exemplary experiences, services, and spaces that create opportunities for everyone to learn, engage, and thrive. And I don't think there's any other group of people more than our police officers and our firefighters who exemplify that in our community. Our heroes in Yankton are not just folks that are in the station. They are our coworkers, they're our neighbors, and they're our friends. And that has meaning, and they're there when we need us most. I certainly feel really safe in Yankton, and that's a testament to all the things both departments do. So I personally thank you as well for everything you do for our community. FEMA joined us today. They were here for the majority of the day, and luckily it was not rainy and miserable. So we walked around with FEMA, talked with them about all of our damages, spent quite a bit of time talking about the various programs that they have. They were very impressed with the work that our city staff has done up until this point in documenting all of the damage. So the late nights that the department had spent working and putting all that information together was very helpful. We are waiting for that presidential declaration. That's what will trigger any access to federal programming. So we're going to be waiting now to hear what the state does, and if we get that federal declaration, if we do get that declaration, we'll anticipate further visits from FEMA as well as assistance from them on what programs will be applicable to us, although we will have to do some mitigation on our own ahead of time. So appreciate the gals that were there from FEMA, from the Denver office to working with us today. Also, I want to bring to everyone's attention that under your consent, we do not have a work session for May 28th. I thought I'd have more FEMA information ready for you by that time. I do not. So if it's all right with the commission, we're going to skip that work session. And that meeting night is a Tuesday because of Memorial Day. So don't come here on Monday, the 27th. We won't be here. Come on Tuesday, 7 o'clock regular time. So no work session that day. Also, before I close, I'd like to mention, too, that not only are we recognizing a number of important weeks this week, but today is also Charlie Gross Day in the city of Yankton. So that's something to be excited about. In honor of Charlie, I did not spend any money today. Both the city and my husband are happy about that. I don't think I spent a nickel. But in honor of you, Charlie, certainly that's a well-deserved proclamation. And I wanted to personally thank you. You were one of the folks that took a chance on me and hired me, so you can either thank him or blame him. But Charlie and I have become friends. Certainly he's challenged me on a lot of things, and one thing I do want to say about Charlie is after the vote's cast, he lets it go, and I've really respected that about you, Charlie, whether it goes your way or not. It's on to the next thing at the table, so I appreciate that. I also want to say thank you and good luck to Commissioner Maibaum, who will be leaving us this evening. I think probably the thing that comes to mind with you, Commissioner Maibaum, is you were always asking why and trying to find a way to build a better mousetrap, so to speak. And that helped us to think in new and different ways and innovative ways. So appreciate that, and we'll certainly carry that through as we continue to lead our community. So thank you both for your years of service, and I've been honored to work with you both very much. So thank you. That's all I have, Mayor. I'll stand for questions.
Are there any further questions from the commission for the city manager? All right. Then let's move on to public appearances. This is a time when members of the public can address the commission about something not listed on the agenda. We do have one scheduled public appearance tonight, and that is from the Red Cross. They are going to present an award to our fire department.
What a great night to have the entire fire department here, too, with this award that we're giving. My name is Patty Brooks, and I'm the Executive Director for the American Red Cross serving Eastern South Dakota. And I have the privilege and honor to be here tonight to present this award and to recognize the long-term relationship that the Red Cross has had with the Yankton Fire Department. Years ago, the Red Cross started a home fire campaign called Sound the Alarm, Save a Life, where we partner with local fire departments to install free smoke detectors in homes that need them. And we've been doing this in Yankton with the leadership of Catherine and Terry Crandall now for several years, installing hundreds upon thousands of smoke alarms across the United States. To date, this program has saved 582 lives in the United States by us going partner, door to door with the fire department to install free smoke alarms. In Eastern South Dakota, we've had 2 lives saved. We had one in Sioux Falls, and more importantly, today we are recognizing a life saved in Yankton, South Dakota. It's been a while since the incident happened, so forgive me if I don't recognize all the details, but a young gentleman, age 16, who was blind and hard of hearing, happened to be sick and was staying home alone that day and was sleeping in bed with his dog. He didn't realize that the dog had gotten up and went into the kitchen and hit one of the burners and started the stove. And with the smoke alarms that had just recently been installed, this particular young gentleman was alerted to something going on in his home and was guided out of the home and to safety. And so this life had been saved by the partnership between the Red Cross and the Yankton Fire Department. So with that said, I would like to go ahead and present a little award and recognition and thank you for past partnership and continued future partnership for the Red Cross and the Yankton Fire Department.
I want to thank the Red Cross also for bringing this program to us. It's an incredible program. If you don't know what it is, they will come in and actually provide not only the smoke detectors, but the labor to install those detectors, and that's what these guys have done over the past few years, is provide the labor to actually put them up. It's incredible the amount of homes that we go into that have absolutely no smoke detectors. And I hear that from the guys as they go out all the time, is we just can't believe how many homes we go in that they have either no smoke detectors, or the smoke detectors are over 10 years old and are not operable. Red Cross comes in, provides the detectors. They go out at times even when we're not available, they'll go out and actually put the detectors up kind of in between the times we actually have the campaigns. So it's really an incredible program. It helps save this life, and I have a feeling down the line we're going to save some more. So thank you to the Red Cross, and thank you to all the guys for the firefighters for providing the labor, and on to the next push for this program.
Thank you.
Stay longer next time, would you? The box was for transportation. Thank you so much. Thanks, Michelle.
Before we get to you, Nancy, I just want to recognize Patty and Catherine and Terry for their continued efforts to organize this event a couple times a year, right? Yeah, and I've been a part of it and seen how much work it is for you to put it on, and it's great that that is a resource for the citizens of our community and has definitely helped keeping them safe. So thank you.
One thing I would like to say is,
Come on up to the mic.
Could you step up to the podium? We record this so our viewing audience can watch it.
all right, I just wanted to say that, just so you know some stats, 85% of the homes we go into have no working smoke alarm. That is really shocking. So Red Cross asked me how long we're going to be doing this, and I said we never end, because as soon as we get alarms in every home, we have to start over again. So, and it is across all economic strata. The very poor don't have the home smoke alarms, and neither do the wealthy. And we don't care who it is that gets an alarm. We'll do it for anybody, so thank you.
Thank you. Nancy, you could introduce yourself for us.
Nancy Winandy, representing Yankton Area Progressive Growth this evening. I wanted to, on behalf of our organization, thank Commissioner Maibaum for his advocacy for economic development in Yankton. The last 3 years that we've been able to work together with you and really talk about some of the projects we're doing, I appreciate your input and your insight into what we're doing, so thank you. And Commissioner Gross, now that you're coming off, we can start telling stories about how awesome our travels have been all these years. But in all seriousness, you have changed the landscape of the Yankton community. I'm not going to get emotional, but you've made a difference to me and to all the people that you've served with. It's been a blessing to have you as a part of my world. All of our years together were not easy. We had some challenging times with the commission, and it was wonderful that through all of it, we were able to remain friends and continue to serve the community, because I know you love this community and you will continue to love this community. And I encourage both of you to continue to stay involved in the activities happening around Yankton, because it's really important to have advocates out there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Nancy. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the commission about an item not on tonight's agenda? In that case, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is quite lengthy. So I'll do my best auctioneer impression. Number 1 is establishing May 28, 2019 as the date for the public hearing on the request for a special malt beverage on-sale retailer's license and a special on-sale wine retailer's license for July 20th from Yankton Area Arts for the Meridian Bridge, and a rain date set for the City Hall Auditorium. Number 2 is consideration of memorandum 19-112 regarding appointment of city commissioners to the Naming Rights Committee. And this is where I need your help. Currently, Chris Ferdig and Tony Maibaum are the commissioners serving on that committee. Chris, I'm sure you want to continue serving? Okay, excellent. That was easy. The question is, who else wants to volunteer?
I
Amy.
can step up and do that. Oh, you're going to too? You can too. Commissioner Minor.
All right, Commissioner Minor. Congratulations. And thank you. Number 3, consideration of memorandum 19-98 recommending approval of the application from Boomers, Inc., doing business as Boomers Lounge, to hold a street dance on June 8th through 9th, 2019 on 3rd Street from the alley between Capitol and 4th Street to Douglas Avenue. Number 4 is establishing May 28th, 2019 as the date for the public hearing on the request for a new retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota Farm wine license for July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019 from Angeles La Mexicana, LLC at 401 Pequot Street. Number 5 is established May 28th, 2019 as the date for the public hearing on the request for a new retail on-off sale wine and cider license for January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2019 from Angeles La Mexicana, LLC, again at 401 Pequot Street. Number 6, establish May 28th, 2019 as the date for the public hearing on the request for a special events retail on-sale malt beverage and special retail on-sale wine dealer's license for June 10th through 12th, 2019 for Mount Marty College, and that will be on the Mount Marty College campus. Number 7, establish May 28th, 2019 as the date for the public hearing on the applications for renewal of malt beverage licenses for the 2019 through 20 licensing period. Number 8, consideration of memorandum 19-110 recommending approval of the application from Habitat for Humanity, Clay, and Yankton counties to hold a street dance on June 13th, 2019. And they are requesting it be moved from 218 Capitol Street to the former Slumberland parking lot near 8th and Broadway. Number 9, consideration of memorandum 19-111 recommending approval of the application from the Meridian District for a transient merchant license for June 4th through October 31st, 2019, and that is for a vendor's farmer's market in the city lot at the northeast corner of 2nd and Douglas Avenue. Number 10, setting May 16th, 2019 for a possible quorum event, and that will be for the State of the Community address. Number 11, possible quorum event again, that is for May 14th for the YAPG quarterly meeting. And number 12 is a possible quorum event May 21st for a Heather Family Aquatic Center public meeting that will feature the unveiling of a design for the facility. And number 13, also a possible quorum event, and again, at all these quorum events, no official action will be taken. This one is for July 1st, 2019 for the West Side Park Master Planning Meeting. So continuing that process.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion of the consent agenda?
I was just curious, the wine and cider license, is that a new one? Have we approved a lot of those, or what makes it different?
You know, I noticed that as you was reading it, so I had not noticed it before. I don't know if it's a new title. I'm not aware of a new license, but I'll get some information on that and email it out to all of you.
Any further discussion? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission about any of these items on the consent agenda? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? Thank you very much. Moving on to old business. Number 1 is consideration of memorandum 19-101 regarding the application for a new retail on-off sale malt beverage license for June 30th, 2019 to July 1st, 2020 for P&P Lottery Enterprises LLC at 3010 Broadway Avenue. What is your pleasure?
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Hoffner.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 2, under old business, is consideration of memorandum 19-100 regarding the transfer of ownership and location of a retail on-off sale malt beverage license for July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019 from Bernard Properties LLC, doing business as The Brewery, to P&P Lottery Enterprises LLC at 3010 Broadway Avenue. What is your pleasure?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Hoffner.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 3, under old business, is consideration of memorandum 19-102 regarding the transfer of ownership and location of a retail on-off sale malt beverage license for July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019 from YC Library LLC, doing business as Capitol Street Pub at 401 Capitol Street, to P&P Lottery Enterprises at 3010 Broadway. What is your pleasure?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Hoffner.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes. And finally, number 4, under old business, is consideration of memorandum 19-99 regarding the transfer of location and ownership of a retail on-sale liquor license for January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2019 from P&P Lottery Enterprises at 3010 Broadway to YC Library LLC, doing business as Capitol Street Pub at 401 Capitol Street. What is your pleasure?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Moser.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Hoffner.
Aye.
Mybom.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye. Motion passes.
Amen.
There being no other business, unless Tony or Charlie, you have some other business we're not aware of? No? Okay. We will adjourn. Sina Die, if I can get a motion to do so.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Is anyone opposed? With that, we will let Al or City Manager Leon take over.
We'll excuse our existing commissioners. And we'll call our newly elected commissioners, Mybom, Schramm, and Weber to the front, so that, sorry, Minor, Schramm, and Weber to the front, so Roth can administer the oath. And I'll start by calling this meeting to order. We'll call the regular meeting of the City Commission for Monday, May 13th to order. We'll start with the oath of offices.
Would the three of you please raise your right hand for me and repeat after me? I state your name. Having been duly elected to the office of Commissioner of the City of Yankton, do hereby swear that I will support the Constitution of the State of South Dakota and faithfully discharge the duties of my office as City Commissioner. Congratulations.
The newly sworn commissioners may be seated in whatever vacant spot they'd like. We'll give them a second to get situated, and we'll have Al give them their nameplates. You can insert your nameplates there and then keep them handy, as you may be using them in a second to move. I don't know. Mr. Varick, are you ready to call roll?
Benson.
Here.
Sarda.
Here.
Fertig. Here. Hoffner.
Present.
Johnson.
Here.
Minor.
Here.
Moser.
Here.
Schramm.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
City Manager Leon.
Here.
City Attorney Denherter.
Here.
Okay, our first order of business is to identify a mayor for the 2019 and 2020 term. Are there any nominations for mayor?
City Manager Leon, I make a motion to nominate Nathan Johnson to serve as a second term of mayor.
Second.
There is a motion and a second for Nathan Johnson to serve as mayor. Are there any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, you will cast a unanimous ballot for Mayor Johnson to serve the 2020 term. We need a motion for that anonymous ballot as well.
I'll motion that we make it an anonymous ballot.
Second. There's a motion and second. We need a roll call. Al?
Benson.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Hoffner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Abstain.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Schramm.
Aye.
Weber.
Aye.
And we'll come around again. Mayor Johnson, did you still wish to abstain?
I do, thank you.
Okay. Congratulations, Mayor Johnson.
Well, thank you to the commission for your vote of confidence to serve as mayor for a second term. I appreciate it. It's been an interesting year, and I look forward to another great year with all of you. Before Charlie takes off, I wish Tony hadn't left. I just want to again say what a great influence you've been on me, Charlie. I don't know that I would be sitting here if it wasn't for your advice and counsel over the years. So you've been a great mentor, a great friend, and I look forward to hearing your ideas for how we should be doing things in the future. All right. Well, now we have some new business to take care of. Number one, under new business, oh, and I should also welcome our new commissioners this evening. Welcome. We have a great team here, so we'll do some good work here in the next year. Number one, consideration of memorandum 19-103 regarding an agreement with HDR for a wastewater treatment plant condition assessment. And this will be for an amount not to exceed $133,969. What is your pleasure?
I'll move the memorandum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item?
Can we get a little update, since we do have some new commissioners?
Sure. We'll let Mr. Goodmanson provide you with some information, and I believe Mr. Tanner Hansen is here as well if he has something additional.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Commission. Thank you. As we talked about in the last work session, through the recent flooding, we've had some more issues at our wastewater plant facility. We were actually in the process of setting up a meeting to speak with Amy and talk about doing a full wastewater plant master plan here probably in the next couple of years. With the flooding and the potential for some additional funds to become available sooner, we were looking at doing a condition assessment now to prioritize some of those projects that may come out of this. Again, these are things that we're going to have to be doing anyway. So we just wanted to get some consulting in, develop our CIP and develop some of these projects for that potential funding that could come available sooner than what we anticipated. Any other questions?
Did you say the timeline for this?
We have not set a timeline for this. Parts of this will have to go faster depending on how the funds become available. We'll do certain parts of this condition assessment, of course. We know there's some projects out there that we have that we'll look at putting together sooner than others, but I would say at least a 6-month process.
And would this be a project that's available for any federal funds? Could you tie it to that or not?
Not the engineering itself, but the projects that we develop out of the condition assessment will be, we'll be looking into the potential for federal funds if the disaster is declared.
Is there any further commission discussion? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 2 under new business is consideration of memorandum 19-105 regarding an amendment to the Martin Creek Bank Stabilization and Water Main Crossing Engineering Services Agreement. The amendment provides for an additional $54,000, making the total agreement with Stockwell Engineers $146,013. What is your pleasure?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? City Manager Leon, this is again a project that we had already received some money for, but now we've changed the scope due to the flooding, correct?
Correct. We planned after the 2018 heavy rains to do this project, and then after March 13th, this project got a lot bigger, so we need to make adjustments in the engineering for that project.
So then the difference of the $145,000 that it's going to cost more minus the additional engineering is what we think it's going to cost for additional work that needs to be done? Is that what that is?
I'm going to let Adam handle that question because it's not as straightforward as we think it might be, but
so Stockwell Engineers was the consultant in the original agreement, and they did have an original estimated project cost. With the new creekscape post March 13th flooding, there may be some additional project costs just because the project got a little bigger. So we don't have an estimate on the new project cost, but I can anticipate it'll be slightly more.
So is that what the one, because we went up, so you went up from approximately 500,000 to 651 with only a...
So the engineering, this amendment is for an additional 54,000.
Right, for a total project cost, new total project cost of about 651,000.
Yes.
Where the previous total was right at about 505,000.
505, yes.
So that's another, 100,000 more on top of the engineering.
So the 505 was without the engineering fees.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay, thank you.
So not to jump ahead too much, but the next one is also Martin Creek. What's the difference between the two?
So this agreement was for 2 locations. The water main crossing location south of the Highway 50 bridge, and then the Burley Street bridge location. The next proposal is for the entire creek shed or watershed. So
is there any more commission discussion? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Number 3, under new business, is consideration of memorandum 19-106 regarding professional services for Martin Creek and adjacent tributaries, existing conditions, and flood analysis. And this will be with Stockwell Engineers in an amount not to exceed $52,300. What is your pleasure?
Move the memorandum.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 4, under new business, is consideration of memorandum 19-107 in support of resolution 19-22 regarding a snow blower purchase. And that will be in the amount of $121,595 from Fair Manufacturing of Yankton. And this memorandum also instructs our city staff to surplus the 16-year-old snow blower we are replacing. What is your pleasure?
Move the memorandum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item?
Just a quick question. Is this on a schedule, like a normal schedule equipment like the vehicles do, or is it just because it's breaking down, hard to replace parts and stuff like that?
So this particular piece of equipment is not listed on the adopted replacement plan, but we feel it's time. It's a crucial piece of equipment in the downtown snow removal, and it has had some issues in the past years, so.
I want to know, for buying it this time of the year, that you can promise we're not going to see any more snow?
I've been told we don't put our coveralls away till July and we get them back out in August, so I'm going to stick with that.
Words of wisdom. Any more commission discussion? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 5 under new business is consideration of memorandum 19-108 and resolution 19-20 regarding a request by Boomer's Lounge for special events parking ordinance number 933 to be in place during a street dance on June 8th through 9th, 2019, and a suspension of our alcohol consumption ordinance. What is your pleasure?
Move the memorandum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 6 under new business is consideration of memorandum 19-109 and resolution 19-21 regarding a request by Dayhuff Enterprises for special events parking ordinance number 933 to be in place during Karen's Hope Bike Rally on June 1st, 2019. What is your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item?
I do have one question. So we've kind of, these all roll in together and it gets a little confusing. This one does not have the alcohol suspension on it, so isn't it a street dance and wouldn't they need that?
So this actually is not a street dance. It is it's a poker run for Karen's Hope Bike Rally. It's mainly going to be used for motorcycle parking and event parking. It is the same day as Ribfest, and it ended up being on the same day last year. And so this motorcycle rally uses Ribfest as their street dance portion of it. So instead of having 2 different street dances on different streets, they'll just encourage all of their attendees to walk on over to Ribfest for the end portion of the event. So this closure is just for the motorcycle parking.
Is there any further commission discussion? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Number 7 under new business is consideration of memorandum 19-104 regarding improvements for our skate park. Staff is recommending that we allocate up to $10,000 from the Triple B fund to match private fundraising efforts. What is your pleasure?
Move the memorandum.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any commission discussion on this item?
Can somebody address, this would be matching if they raise $10,000, correct, right? They have to raise the 10,000, and according to our notes, they're not even halfway there yet?
That's our recommendation, that we would recommend the commission approve matching funds up to 10,000. So if they raise 5, match 5, they raise 6. And I think they're about halfway to their goal.
Is there any further commission discussion?
Does the, so is this, the equipment that's looking at being built been in works with the Parks Department, or are they just designing what they want and we're just paying for it?
So
or helping pay for it?
We have removed some equipment that was made out of wood, so some of the stuff we removed is what they are replacing. So yeah, there's a little bit of coordination here. The Rampage company that Matt Evans mostly is working with, that's who we ordered the equipment last time in 2009 when we put in some new equipment. So we would be getting the same stuff. We know they got the metal frames, they got the skate lights. So yes, we are working in conjunction with them to try to have a plan moving forward.
That'd be my main question, that you feel comfortable with how the process is playing out and there is communication taking place.
Yeah, and we'll see where this ends up, but we may look to do some budgeting in the future. Again, this stuff lasts a lot longer. Like I said, the stuff we bought in 2009, the metal framework doesn't rot away, so mainly you worry about the skate light because, again, it's composite, but eventually, again, it wears. So we'll need to replace some of the skate light composite material on the ramps that we currently have, and we'll have to do that going forward with some of these. But from the expense of buying the new structures, we should be in good shape moving forward. And again, hopefully they have success getting to the 10,000. So
Now, Todd, being at the West Side Park meetings, there were a couple architectural drawings, and I guess probably more to bring everybody else in the loop that wasn't able to be there. A couple of those drawings don't have the skate park there. So is all of this equipment, should long-term West Side Park be revamped and that's not included there, is it movable, or are we incurring expenses that can't be recouped?
So, yeah, just so everybody's up to speed and to make sure the skaters understand, again, Matt Evans contacted us right away a couple days afterwards. He wasn't at the meeting, but he got a hold of us right away because, again, rumor gets out. So we've got 3 plans moving forward. They are on the internet that people can look at for West Side Park, and we want to get feedback so people can vote on them, comment on them. 2 of the plans showed the space where the skate park is now being utilized for something else. So, again, we're not saying it's going to go in that direction. Again, this is just a process where we put everything out in space and see what people like and what they don't like. Again, what we've heard most from people is that they like the tranquility of West Side Park and how to make it and keep it a passive park. So that's kind of what we're working on, but we'll know more after the internet voting. Going to your comments, Commissioner Moser, yes, we can move this stuff. Again, the frames aren't screwed down, bolted down to the concrete. Even if they were, we could still move them, but they've got enough weight to them that we just need to take them apart, can move them. Part of the discussion is if it was no longer going to be a skate park at West Side, would we look to utilize the south courts at Memorial Park, because we've had some issues with the paint surfacing sticking on those courts, so sometimes tennis isn't the best condition on those 2 south courts at Memorial. And we've also talked about relocating, and that would be at a substantial more cost because we'd have to put down concrete. Here comes Matt now. We'd have to put concrete down in Sertoma Park if we were going to move them to Sertoma Park. Obviously, Sertoma Park is a very active park, so you got a lot of different things going on there. And again, way back in time, we've had that talk to should the skate park ever move to Sertoma Park. But again, they may very well stay in West Side Park. We'll see where the voting goes and where the planning goes and what we bring to you, Commission, in July. But if it would have to move, we could move the ramps, and we'd be in good shape, just like we are moving forward here on the location where we're at.
Mr. Evans, I saw you walk in. Just so you know, we have a motion on the table right now to approve up to $10,000 in funding to match private fundraising efforts that I know you've spearheaded. So thank you for that. Is there any more commission discussion on this item? Would anyone in the audience like to address the commission on this item? Yep, if you could step to the podium and introduce yourself to the viewing audience.
I'm Matt Evans. I'm trying to work on a fundraiser for Yankton Skate Park. I almost missed the meeting. Sorry about that. I guess I missed the last meeting for the West Side Park meeting. I did talk with Dave Mingo a little bit and kind of following up on what he was saying as far as even if we do move the skate park, if it doesn't go at West Side Park, we can always move the ramps. It's not that big of an issue. I had a meeting today with, Artec here, Bob from Artec. He does a lot of work as far as welding and stuff like that. I talked to him and Josh Swanis. We're trying to work out what it would take to modify the existing half pipe that is there. If we can't for some reason, which I don't foresee that being a problem, if we can't for some reason, we're talking an additional $16,000 in costs above and beyond the $20,000 estimated already. I don't think it's going to be an issue as far as that goes. We checked out the structure and stuff like that, and it's very well in sound. The back sheeting does need to be replaced. It is wood. 4x8 sheet of wood costs, treated wood is anywhere from $15 to $20. It's not that big a deal for that. I'm currently working with him as far as a time schedule to figure that out when he can do it. He has a mobile truck, so we won't have to take the ramps out, which is very good. So we need to figure out that schedule when he can get in there. I'll coordinate with Todd when that can happen, the plans, so on and so forth. I've been keeping in contact with Todd as far as what ramps we're looking at. Basically, my main thing is just restoring what was there before. No new ramps, technically. There was 2 6-foot quarter pipe ramps that were there that are gone. We won't worry about the half pipe if we can restore it. And then there was a couple little odds and ends, like a pyramid that's like 2 feet tall. Nothing extravagant, just to get the other stuff that was there back, pretty much, for the kids. What is your guys' scheduling as far as the funding goes if that does get approved?
Sure. Well, we can, the commission's motion is to approve match money. So if you raise 5,000, they would match it at that level. If you're able to raise 10, they'd match it at that level. So we can get the funds to you rather quickly. We do need you to submit, an invoice of what's, been spent, and so that we can run it through our bills. But
okay, so I actually talked to Dave Mingo, and I think it was, or was it you, Todd? I don't remember. Maybe it was you, Todd. Basically, it's better if the city purchases the ramps.
We can do it that way as well. We just want to make sure that you had all your match money.
Yep. So I would give a check to the city, and then the city would then write the check for the ramps that we have.
That'd be a little cleaner, especially if you don't have like a 501c3 or an organization. If you're just a citizens group, that would be cleaner.
Okay.
But we can work all that out following the commission's action.
Okay. Trying to think if I have any other questions. I think it was all pretty straightforward. I'll probably just keep staying in contact with Todd as far as what RTAC plans to do. They said something about they had community hours or something that they have to do or something like that, that's what they planned to do. Everything else is pretty straightforward, I think. I talked to Rampage, which is the place that sells the ramps. They sound like they know what they're doing, and basically as soon as we give them the order, they'll ship them whenever. So,
And like I said, when you have your funds, we can place that order and get the check from you, or however
awesome.
you.
Sounds good.
Do you have a timeline to try to hit your side of the 10,000?
My biggest thing, honestly, I can make whatever happen, whether I do it myself or whatever has to happen. We currently have just over $6,000 now. It kind of hit a little wall. I have like 4 other jobs, so I'm doing this all myself pretty much. I'm trying to get change jars and stuff like that, like at gas stations to help out, whether I front the money or whatever I got to do to get it here. My main thing is when school gets out, these kids are going to want something to do. And if they don't, I know how hard it is as a kid to find stuff to do in Yankton. And I spent a large majority of my life at the skate park almost every day. So the sooner the better. Whatever happens at the meeting, I'll try to make whatever happen, whether I have to talk to other people that were very big, that made very big contributions to the fundraiser. I'm sure I know a lot of people that would be willing to help out even more. Timeline, if I had to guess, I don't know. I could probably have it in a matter of a week or two. I would guess up to the 2,000, I would say.
All right, Matt, thank you for your efforts to get this project expedited and across the finish line. Appreciate you working with our park staff and other city staff to make sure it's all coordinated and that everyone feels like they know what's going on. So
great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other commission discussion? Anyone else in the audience, I guess, that wants to address the commission on this item? Then we will go to roll call.
Aye. Weber?
Aye.
Benson?
Aye.
Aye.
Ferdig?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And with that, there is no other business on the agenda, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.